Hello, and welcome to Dave MRRP's Euro 2020, even though it's 2021, predictions. I just thought this might be quite a fun little thing to do. Just go through the groups and the knockout stages, give a little prediction. I've got a little sheet of facts to hopefully help me along the way. Pick out some players who I think might be alright, might flop, and see where we get. See who we pick to win. I've also got a few of your predictions to go through, and later on, one of the guys who's done it for me is going to join us on a call to go through his. So that should be rather fun. Before I say anything else, just know that whenever I put a match bet on, a goal scorer bet on, any kind of bet, it loses. So basically, if you go against everything I put here, you're going to be in the money. But yeah, just saying, before you spend your life savings, just ignore me. But yeah, if you want to do it yourself, I don't know if you can put screenshots in here, but comment below with who you think might win. Any sort of top goal scorer, golden boot winner tips you've got, always come in handy. But yeah, so let's get to it. So for Group A, I have Italy, Switzerland, Turkey and Wales. Now, a lot of the time, obviously, big teams can flop. I think Italy should be good for this group. They're currently on a 23-match unbeaten run. Their team looks really solid. Immobile, Ciro is one of my picks for Golden Boot winner, potentially. I think, he's going to be sort of a talisman that a lot of their attacks are going to go through, so that's potential. They're also playing all their games at home, which helps. I'm not sure with regards to number of fans if they're going to be full stadiums or not, but obviously home advantage always does help. The rest of this group is quite difficult. Turkey are one of those teams. I mean, they beat Netherlands 4-2 in a World Cup qualifier in February, I think it was. But they're also a fairly oldish team. I just think the 3 games might be a bit much for them. I think he's their captain. Let's bring this over here a little bit easier. Yilmaz is 35. Age is just a number. I get it. I'm getting I'm getting towards that age, so I don't think I'm going to be playing many European Championships. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't like this group. I'm going to say it about pretty much every group, that most of the teams, they're either great attacking or they're great defending. They don't have the full package. Unlike Italy, who look really solid throughout. I mean, Switzerland are a pretty solid sort of team. One thing I did notice, they've never won a penalty shootout, so that's why I've sort of looked at them to sort of pick up maybe a win against Turkey or Wales, maybe a draw against Italy potentially, moving through into the round of 16 and then losing out there. But then, I mean, Wales got to the semi-finals in 2016, so there could be a surprise package again. Was that a one-off? I don't know. I don't really want to put anyone bottom of this group, to be honest. It's one of those. I mean, the opening game is Italy-Turkey. So on Friday, if that ends up a draw, that could throw everything out the window straight away. I mean, Wales, they've got an all right team. There's a bit of a team about, but their keepers haven't been playing many games domestically, and with the whole Ryan Giggs situation, is Page a good manager? Is that going to be playing on their minds? Maybe. I don't know. But that's the way I've looked at it, and I think most people have said Wales bottom, and then Turkey second, Switzerland third. I don't know. Really, I think looking at it, Italy should win that group, unless they completely choke. And then these 3 really could end up in any kind of manner. But that's what we're going with. Italy and Switzerland to go through, Turkey third, and then Wales 4th. The other thing about this tournament is 4 out of the 6 third place teams go through. So really, as long as you can get to win against presumably the team ending 4th, you could quite likely go through if you sort of look at these two teams and drawing against each other, only getting 1 point each, maybe a couple of draws, 2 points. You know, are you going to go through with 2 points? Probably not. If you draw with all 3, potentially. Group B, we've got Belgium, Denmark, Russia, Finland. Now, Russia did really well at their home World Cup, and they have 2, let me check the notes, I'm sure they've got 2 games at home. I think it's Denmark that have got all 3 at home. But they haven't really done much since the World Cup, and again, the team is aging a bit. Like, are they going to get goals? I don't know. I reckon they'll beat Finland, because poor little Finland. They are now winless in 6, and I think most of them were losses. Obviously, you got Pukki up front. After that, I don't know. I just can't see them really doing anything. So I can see Russia probably picking up a win against them. Denmark, I reckon, might be a bit of a surprise package this season. Whether they'd get sort of semi-finals, finals, I don't know. Mainly because I'm not entirely sure where this is going to end up with the knockout rounds. Because every time I've done it, it's come up with something different, and I have to pick different games. It's confusing. But yeah, I reckon they look all right. They've had 1 defeat in 9. Strikers maybe might struggle for goals. Might be looking more into midfield. But again, they are playing at home all the games, so could help. And obviously Belgium, number 1 in the world. Again, with that group, really, they should be coming out of that with 9 points. And a rather sizable goal difference. I mean, this is probably going to be one of the last tournaments for the golden generation, as it's called. Could they choke? Potentially, you know, I don't know. But, I mean, they're a solid attacking team. You know, Lukaku, again, I think he's odds on with Kane to be top scorer. Hazard would be an interesting one. He hasn't had the best season domestically. Is he going to play? Or are they going to sort of throw Tielemans in and people like that instead? I don't know, but the Belgian team is pretty solid all the way through. So I think group-wise, they shouldn't worry at all. Knockout rounds, again, I don't know. That could be their struggle, depending on who they come up against. Group C, we got Netherlands, Ukraine, North Macedonia, and Austria. Now, Austria I've put bottom, just because I have a feeling that they're going to be one of the bigger teams to sort of fail. They haven't won a tournament game since the World Cup 1990 when they beat United States 2-1. Which isn't good. And I mean, I just don't see where they're going to get things from. You got Arnautovic up front, who I think he's played 1 game this season. Alaba's had a good season, but I just don't know. They're one of those that could be a problem, you know. So yeah, Austria would be the team that I'd say might fail. North Macedonia, I think Poland were the only team to keep a clean sheet against them in qualifying. They score a lot of goals. Now, their striker Pandev is 37, potentially now, maybe. Might be getting that wrong. But they score goals. They're also very, very leaky at the back. Again, you know, that's the one with sort of Austria, you know, draw, maybe sneak a win 2-1 or something. That's why I was looking at them potentially. And again with the Ukraine, and again another draw, maybe a couple of draws there. I've gone for Ukraine to go second. They're difficult to tell. They're another one of those teams that are sort of, where are they going to get the goals from? I'm not entirely sure. But they won the Under-20 World Cup in 2019, and a lot of that team are now starting to come through into the first team. So is that going to help? Have they played a lot together with more experienced players? Andrei Shevchenko is their manager, and I'm pretty certain he wishes that he could lace them up again and get on, just to have that goal scoring threat. But I think they might have enough, because I think, you know, as I said, draw with Macedonia, pinch a win against Austria, you know, you got 4 points, could probably see you through. And again, I think the Netherlands, even though they had that blip against Turkey in the World Cup qualifying, they've still got a very, very strong team. If they had Virgil van Dijk, I'd quite possibly tip them to be going very far. I think missing him is going to hurt. And the fact that up front you've still got Memphis Depay, and then not a lot else. You've got De Jong and De Ligt, Wijnaldum. There are goals there, but it's always a little bit worrying when you're sort of relying on more midfield and stuff. But again, with that group, Ukraine, North Macedonia and Austria, I don't think they're going to have too much of a problem. Could be a little upset, maybe a draw with Ukraine, possibly. Maybe a draw with Austria or something, I don't know. But realistically, Italy, Belgium and Netherlands, and I think they've also got all their home games. I'm not sure where is that? Where are the rest of them playing? Romania. But yeah, Netherlands are playing all at home, so should be alright there. Should be alright. Other people have said Belgium, Denmark, Russia and Finland for Group B. That's changed, because I swear before a lot of people had Russia second, but fair play. My tip for Denmark being alright, it seems to have got out. And Group C, sorry, everyone said Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, Macedonia. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, those two, as I said, I just have a feeling that Austria are going to struggle. Don't know why. I know they play Alaba as more of a defensive midfielder rather than a defender, as far as I know that he plays for domestically. I mean, he's a great player, but other than that, it's sort of like, where else is they getting stuff from? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Group D, no bias at all, of course. You know, I'm not English. No, wait about. I mean, I've got England top. I don't know. This group, when it got announced, it was one of those where it was like, oh, that's all right, cool, yeah, fine, no worries. And then you look at it and you're like, I have a feeling that Scotland aren't going to be the push. I'll show you the Group D. So everyone is, a lot of people, the average, I should say, is England, Croatia, Czech Republic, Scotland. And a lot of people that I've spoken to and I've seen reviews from and read things about is, you know, Scotland's going to come bottom of the group. I don't think they will. I think they're not going to be a surprise package as such, but, you know, they held Netherlands to a 2-2 draw, and that was because of a Depay free kick in the 80th minute, I think. And they had more chances to go further ahead. Croatia, which is a very weird thing to say after being World Cup runners-up 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. They haven't really done anything since. Very much the same as Russia, who sort of did better than expected. Obviously, they were at home. But since then, they haven't really done anything. I think they got promoted to Nations League A and then got relegated to B again. Or they started in A, stayed in A, and then got relegated. I'm not sure, but they're just not. They're an aging team again. You know, Modric is still there. They relying a lot on Modric still, who is a fantastic player. It can't be argued against, but you know, how much can you start relying on people? So I don't know if they're going to be second or first. Again, first game being England Croatia, that could tell everything. I think England will top it because they've got all their games at home. There'll be fans there. I could see us draw with Scotland, because the other reason that I think Scotland might do well is the fact their first games against the Czech Republic, who they're a solid enough team, but they're not really. What's the word? I don't think I wrote down a word for it. You know, they're not the Czech Republic of old. When you'd kind of expect it to be like, I'll tell you what, Czech Republic could win this group. You know, they're just kind of there. I mean, they might shock everyone. They might be the shock of the tournament. You know, a lot of people writing them off as sort of third, fourth. They might be the team that come through and do it. I don't know, but Scotland playing them first at home up in Scotland will be massive. To get a win out of that, and then for England, hopefully to win, potentially to draw, maybe even lose against Croatia, who knows. But all of a sudden, even if they both win, they're both on 3 points, it's more likely that Scotland will have a higher goal difference, a higher score. To then come down to London, to come into England, to play the old enemy, fired up, you know, first major tournament for however many years it is now. I didn't write it down. You know, run away with a draw, maybe a win, you know, smash and grab. To then go back up to Scotland against Croatia, knowing that they've got 6 points. They're through. 4 points, quite potentially through. Or 3 points we could really do with winning. You know, and then it kind of, again, it depends on the results, but let's just say England have got 6. Again, if they want to win the group, they need to hit Czech Republic hard. But if they draw or lose to Scotland, then they've really got to go after Czech Republic and could still finish second if Scotland do a job over Croatia and their score against the Czech Republic or Croatia is better. I'd be interested to see who Scotland play up front, because I'd tip Che Adams after a good season or end of season with Southampton. He'd be a tip for a good player this tournament. But I was reading earlier that it looks like John McGinn's going to be starting up front, which is fair enough, but I'd like to see Che Adams given a go. But yeah, so that's the way I'm looking at Group D. Again, there is some bias. Of course, there's some bias. You know, I'm English. I really hope that we win that group. Even though finishing second might actually give you a slightly nicer run at the start of the knockout rounds. But yeah, as I said, slight bias, but hopefully, and yeah, I can really see Scotland doing something. This is when I say all this and Czech Republic win all 3 and Croatia win the other 2. It's like, oh, I was wrong. So Group E, we've got Spain, Sweden, Poland, Slovakia. I think people have said Poland for second. Yeah, so the consensus is Poland to finish second, Sweden to finish third. Again, it's another one of those groups that Spain should win until the news of today, which is that Sergio Busquets has coronavirus. Sorry, he tested positive. So which means I assume he's got to isolate for 10 days, which takes them past their first game, which is in 8 days. They were going to be playing their last friendly warm-up game against Latvia tonight. Now the whole team is sort of isolated and / quarantined. Sort of, they've tested negative apart from Biscuits, but they're sort of not taking any chances. They're like, cool, no. And the under-21 team are playing Latvia instead. Now, Spain's first game is, I think, are all their games at home? Yeah, so all Spain's games are at home. In Seville rather than Madrid. For some reason. Not entirely sure why. But, it's against Sweden. Now, I'm sort of picking Sweden in the same sort of sense as Denmark, even though Sweden did pretty good at the World Cup in 2018. You know, I'm picking them as a team that, again, could finish second here. I think poor Slovakia just, no. I'm sorry, Slovakia, but no. They've got a solid defence, but they're lacking up front. And their 2 strikers, Duris and Bosnik, are both very short on goals, domestically and I think internationally as well. which doesn't bode well going into a tournament, especially against all the Spanish defence, the Swedish defence, which again is pretty strong, and even Poland. I think they're very strong at the back. Sweden don't have Ibrahimovic. If they had Ibrahimovic, then I'd be like, they could top this group, especially now that potentially Biscuits is missing for the first game. The fact they don't have him is a little worrying, and it kind of makes me want to rethink this a little bit. But I don't know, Poland, apart from Lewandowski and Klitsch, I just don't see much there. And I just think Sweden, they've got Isaac coming through. He's the left winger, I think. They've still got Seb Larsson, who is getting on a bit. Is he still going to have the legs? Can he still midfield maestro it? But now that Biscuits is missing the Spain game, I mean, don't get me wrong, Spain aren't the team they used to be, but they are definitely in the latter stages of their rebuild. They are looking so much better now. They've got a good core. I just don't know if the captain being missing for that game could hurt them a little bit. Would it bolster Sweden a little bit? Will Spain being at home, get them through that? At least they've got the fans, even if they haven't got their captain. And then obviously, once they've got their full team back, I think they'll sweep aside Poland and Slovakia. And again, I think Sweden should just have enough. And then, poor Slovakia. I'm sorry, Slovakia, but I just can't see anything there. And then finally, the group of death. What a lovely group this is. So we've got the current world champions, the current European champions, Hungary, who I have in my work sweepstakes, so clearly they're going to go and win it. So I won't even worry about. You might as well just put all your money on Hungary now. It's going to happen. When I pulled that one out, it was like, come on. Out of every team, even North Macedonia, they got a chance. Come on, Hungary. The only potential good thing for Hungary is they've got 2 home games, including the first game, which is against Portugal. Now, Portugal can be very slow starters for tournaments. They've got a very good team, and I think they're probably going to have way too much for Hungary. Again, Hungary are a team that have got a great defence, not such a great attack. Could they sneak? Could they get a 0-0 draw out of that first game potentially? Or will they give away a free kick in the 89th and Ronaldo masterclass? I don't know. That first game could turn things on its head. If Hungary get a point or 3 out of it, it could change a hell of a lot, especially through 3 points. But I think even if they got a point, I think Portugal would. That could change things. That changes things. That first game is a bit nasty, to be honest. If Portugal were playing France or even Germany for the first game and, got hammered or whatever, it'd be like, well, they're slow starters, it's fine. But starting slow against Hungary could be a bit worrying, unless you've got Hungary in the sweepstakes and you could be really happy. And then France and Germany, I've gone for those 2 top purely because I think Hungary they're going to lose. I think France will tear them to pieces. Germany are a bit of an interesting team this year. It's Lowe's last tournament. I think he's leaving literally straight after the tournament in charge. And a lot of people have said, is he sort of tarnishing his reputation? Obviously, they won the World Cup. Should he have gone and moved on now? He's brought back Thomas Muller, which is interesting. Gnabry, I think, is going to be one of the flops of the tournament. I don't think I actually put down a positive for them. I think Gnabry's going to struggle. I don't know why. Just think he's going to struggle. And again, Germany, their midfield is very solid. Their defence is pretty decent. But up front, Again, are they going to rely on the midfielders coming through? You know, against France's defence, against Hungary's defence, if it is as solid as it looks, even against Portugal's defence, you know, I don't know. It's again, it's sort of one of those sort of like, could that change quite easily? You know, Portugal turn around and thump Hungary 5-0, and France do Germany 3-4-0. You know, on the opening game, that could change a lot of mindsets. But that's how I look at it, and I think the consensus is sort of Portugal to go above Germany. I just think that Portugal's slow starting could mess them up. That's the only way I look at it. And then the 4 out of 6 to go through, I've picked Russia, Croatia, Poland, and Portugal. Purely because I can see Russia beating Finland for 3 points, Croatia beating Czech Republic for 3 points, Poland beating Slovakia for 3 points, and Portugal beating Hungary for 3 points, which, as I said, after that first game, could completely mess this up. Turkey getting 1 or 2 points from draws with Switzerland and Wales. And the same with Macedonia, drawing with potentially Ukraine, Austria, just getting the 2 points, not being enough to go through against the teams with 3 points. But yeah, so that's how we're looking at for that. And then we move on. So we end up having Belgium versus Portugal. Now I put Belgium through. I left this one till the end because it was such a tough decision, because again, Portugal's slow start, now they're starting to pick up. Belgium, a very strong team, first in the world, great, fantastic. That's not a nice time to meet Portugal. But I'm sort of going with a bit of nostalgia, a bit of, golden generation last time they're together, that hopefully Belgium would do it. I don't know. Italy, Ukraine, I think Italy would quite happily take that. France v Russia, again, no offence to Russia, but I can't see them beating France. Scotland, Sweden, again, it was another tough call. Like, I see Scotland looking quite strong. I see Sweden as potentially a bit of a banana skin for teams. I don't know where this game's going to be held. I cannot work out which games are where now, but I don't think any of the games after the group are in Scotland. Oh yeah, one of them is, but it wouldn't be them unless they finish third, and then it wouldn't be that game anyway. So they wouldn't be playing in Scotland. That'd be a bit annoying for them. So I've put Sweden through. Kind of either way, that one. one of those two to go through. Spain, Croatia, again, I think Spain would have enough to do Croatia. Potential banana skin, that's sort of the game that could go to penalties or something. And then England, Germany. Oof, that is not a nice outcome. I've put England through kind of because of bias, kind of because I think that might be the game that's at home, potentially, maybe. Is that one that's at home or not? Yes. So if England win Group D, they'd be playing in London. If they came second, they would play somewhere else. Where would they play in second? They'd have to go to Denmark. Should be kind of nice. But yeah, especially if they're at home with the home fans against Germany, presumably no away fans. I assume that there's no away fans in any of the stadiums. I don't know. I suppose a lot of it would depend on travel restrictions and stuff, but I'd imagine that like, especially the games at Wembley, is just going to be English fans. And again, that German team. Tournaments are difficult, I mean, football, less cliche. Football's a funny old game. It's a game of two halves. That could be difficult. Again, it's one of those where it could go either way. Could go to extra time, could go to penalties, and we all know that. Okay, England won a penalty shootout finally at the last World Cup, but never goes that well. And the other times they can go to Munich and win 5-1. So I've put them through, as I said, slightly biased, they should have enough to beat that German team. especially as they'd be playing at home. Netherlands against Poland again. Poland, who I put through as third place. Netherlands should have enough to do them. And then Switzerland, Denmark. Again, I see Denmark being the surprise package. They might lose all their games and go out and not score a goal, and I'll have a lot of egg on my face. But yeah, told you, don't bet on me. I mean, Switzerland are good, but they've never won a penalty shootout. So I'd quite like that to happen, and then to go to penalty shootout and then just see what happens. But yeah, I put Denmark through as my surprise package to then lose to the Netherlands, basically. They're doing really well, and then they come up against Memphis Depay, and he's just like, nah, you're done. It would leave Spain versus England, and I think this one would be away. I don't know where this one would be, actually. Where are we? No, this side. Oh, this would be in Rome. So we'd have to go to Italy for this one. Nice place, Italy. Again, slight bias probably, but it's also the Spain team still not quite finished their restructure, whereas this English team, most of them have played in the World Cup together. Obviously, you've got players like Jude Bellingham, Phillips, Reece James if he plays. You know, there's a few sort of more youthful players who could probably stand up to the Spanish line. So again, slight bias, but I think England could get through there. And Southgate said it's a failure if they don't get to the semi-final. So basically, they have to do it. We've got France v Sweden, and then unfortunately that would be where Sweden finish. I think even if Scotland got through to that point, I just see France doing it. As you can kind of see here, we're not quite there yet, but you can kind of see where this is going. But yeah, I think France would do Sweden or Scotland or pretty much whoever they came up against there. Again here, I see Italy doing well this time. They didn't qualify for the World Cup 2018, so they got a bit of a point to prove now. Their team looks pretty solid. Belgium, as I said, you know, if Hazard's not firing, if Lukaku's not getting the service he needs, you know, De Bruyne can be a bit hot and cold at times. More hot than anything, but, you know, it's just one of those where it's another one of those games where it's sort of like that could go either way. I could see that being a sort of an extra time game, and then Italy sort of sneaking a goal through. This is where that turns out, and Belgium win like 6-0, and be like, well, I was wrong. But again, into the semi-finals, I can't see past France. I literally cannot see past France. I think Mbappe is going to have an amazing tournament. Benzema's been called back in, and he's my tip for Golden Boot. Potentially not, but he's my tip for, you know, team of the tournament, especially. I think he's been brought back into the fold. Him and Didier Deschamps have made up their differences. He sounds like he's gonna push Giroud out, and Benzema will start. And I just think having Mbappe and potentially Griezmann on the right, or left, depending on which side they go, feeding him, I can just see him being quite happy in the middle there. And as for the rest of the team, it's just France just look good. So I think that would be where Italy's run would come to an end. Again, maybe just a 1-goal game, maybe an extra time game. I don't know about penalties. I think penalties might be a bit too far, but yeah. And then down in here, again, these games, so the semi-finals and final at the moment, assuming nothing goes wrong, are all going to be at Wembley. So again, England triumphant in Italy, come home to face the Netherlands, who they're a good solid side. They're missing Van Dijk, and I think if De Ligt doesn't step up, De Jong doesn't step up, Wijnaldum, you know, playing defensively, that could be their fallout. I mean, I think they're the sort of team who are getting through on a nice run, coming up against England, who have played Germany, they've played Scotland, they've played Spain. who are again resurgent. You know, assuming they've come through all that, they could be weary at this point. You know, that's what happened at the World Cup. You know, they just sort of ran out of steam in the end against Croatia. So yeah, Netherlands could run all over them. But I just think, again, being at home, potentially having more fans, again, as long as nothing goes wrong, there could be extra fans. I think that they'd have enough to do Netherlands. Again, it wouldn't be a high scoring game. You know, that would be your 1-0, 2-1 sort of game, you know. But again, I think they could get to the final, and you know, bias, yes, England are going to win everything. You know, Harry Kane's going to score 100 goals. I can't see anything past France. I literally cannot see anything past France. And I'm saying all this, and they're going to go out in the group stages because Hungary are going to win the group and go on to win the whole thing, and I'm going to win the sweepstakes. Great. But I just can't see it past France picking up the European champions title to go along with their world champions title. They just look so solid throughout. As far as I know, most of the team are the team that won the World Cup. As I said, Benzema's come in, and I'm tipping him to be a very influential player at the tournament. You've got Giroud to come off the bench now, which is, from what I can tell with him in Chelsea, good spot for him to be in. Get him up front, get him on the end of a couple of crosses. Great. So, yeah, I think England are going to fall just even shorter now. In the semi-finalists, and I think they're going to get to finalists now, but I just can't see it. Even with the home advantage, even with the extra fans, presumably only home fans, I can't see anything past France. Just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't see anything past them. But yeah, so that's my run. That is how I see things going. As I said, if you want to win some money in that, just go completely against what I said, and you'll be fine. But the other good thing is I do have a few of the community's predictions, so let's run through a couple of them. Okay, so to start with, we have Miss Fairy Violets, who is one of my amazing mod team on Twitch, and also my unofficial/official video editor. So I need to be really nice to her, because otherwise she's gonna like draw stuff all over my face for this video. But the reason this video is so nice looking is thanks to her. So if you've got any video editing, go see her. Trust me, it's worth it. So who has Violet gone for? So in Group A, she has Italy, Turkey, Wales, Switzerland. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Again, as I said, you know, these three teams, it could be any order. Really could be. So, yep, that's fair enough. Group B, we got Russia, Denmark, Belgium, Finland. Interesting. Thinking Belgium might choke it up a little bit. Okay, okay. Group C, Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria, North Macedonia. Well, Violet's Dutch, so this makes sense. Biased, totally biased. Again, yeah, I can see that. Quite possible, that one. Group D, England, Croatia, Czech Republic, Scotland. So very much the average idea of it. So fair play. Poor Scotland. Poor Scotland. Group E, Spain, Poland, Sweden, Slovakia. Yep, that's the general consensus. And then Group F, Germany, France, Portugal, Hungary. Germany to win the group's an interesting call. I mean, you know, I've said it. I've said Hungary are going to win this. It's easy. Hungary have won it. Don't worry. But yeah, that could be interesting. Again, you know, the first game between those two in Germany. You know, if Germany can catch France sort of a bit asleep at the beginning, that could change everything. And then there's 4 to go through are Wales, Belgium, Czech Republic, and Portugal. So that'd be Austria and Sweden missing out. Which, yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Okay, so round of 16 we have Russia versus the Czech Republic, which can't be an interesting game. I'm in the way there, aren't I? Russia to go through, Italy to play the Ukraine, Italy to go through. I agree with that. Germany against Belgium there for Germany to go through. Croatia v Poland. Poland to do Croatia. Okay. Spain to do Wales. If they met there, I think Spain would win that. England to beat France. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Even though that would be in England, I don't know about that one. Netherlands to beat Portugal. Again, as I said, Portugal getting out of the group stages makes them interesting. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'd say if that was the game, I could see Portugal beating Netherlands. And then Turkey to beat Denmark. Yeah, that could work. Netherlands to beat Turkey. I think whoever played Turkey there, definitely. Spain to beat England. Opposite to me. I see how it is. I see how it is fine. Spain more like the Italy climate. Could go in their favour. Germany to beat Poland. I would agree with that. And Italy to beat Russia. I'd agree with that. Germany to beat Italy. Yeah, quite potentially there. Yeah, that would work. Netherlands to beat Spain. Yeah, I'll go with that. I won't argue with that. Again, those two teams are a bit sort of anomalies at the moment because, you know, Spain are sort of at the latter stage of rebuild. Netherlands are missing a couple of key players. My thought, which this could lead into, is that this might be a tournament too soon for Netherlands. I think the World Cup next year might be the one to really look at them, especially if they got Van Dijk back and they don't lose any other players to injury. So we're left with the Germany-Netherlands final, for which she didn't predict a winner, so I had to speak to her, and she did say that Germany are going to win it because, I can't remember what the words were. Netherlands is a load of rubbish, I think, which I thought was a bit harsh, seeing as she's getting them to the final. Like, come on, they can't be that bad. But yeah, so fair play, I like it. Many thanks for your contribution, and let's move on to someone else. So we now have Pointy Legend, another streamer on Twitch. Wonderful guy, awesome. Please do go check him out. He does a lot of speed runs. He does plenty of 12-hour streams. I don't know how many he's done now. But yeah, Pointy Legend _ do go give him a follow. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. So he has Italy, Switzerland, Turkey, Wales. Yeah, fair enough. I'll go with that. Group B, Belgium, Russia, Denmark, Finland, which was the average idea until apparently Denmark seemed to take over. But yeah, again, I mean, I'd love Finland to do something. I would love to see them do it. They just lost the gold medal game in the ice hockey world championships, unfortunately, in overtime. It took Canada all the way. So it would be nice for them to get something to cheer about, but yeah, I can't see it. I can see them finishing bottom. Group C, we've got Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, North. I can't say North. Why can I not say North? Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, North Macedonia. Yeah, it's the average idea from most people. Group D, he's got Croatia, England, Scotland, Czech Republic. Now, I didn't speak to him about this. I meant to, because I wanted to know what he thought. Like, you know, did he think Croatia going to get a sneaker win at the start and then England to win 2 games, Croatia to win all 3? But that's interesting because it does mean that England's round of 16 game is a little bit easier. Easier because they should come up against the second out of Group E, which would be Poland for him. So that would make things a little bit easier. And then I think the next game is then France or whatever, and he's like, oh. But he's got Spain, Poland, Sweden, Slovakia, which again is the average idea for most people, it seems. Again, as I said earlier, the Spain-Sweden opening game could throw things out, but I think realistically Spain should take that group quite easily, and then Poland, Sweden really to battle it out for the second and third, potentially for third to be going through as a best qualifier. And then the group of death, France, Germany, Portugal, Hungary, same as me. Good lad, Pointy, good lad. Yeah, again, I mean, again, it is all about that first game. as I said, if Germany can beat France, that throws things on its head. If Hungary beat Portugal, that changes everything. Those first games, it's very difficult to get. So out of his third place qualifiers, he's got Portugal, Scotland, Turkey, Denmark. Might actually be kind of exactly the same as me, except I had Croatia. But so we've got Belgium versus Scotland for Belgium to go through, and then Italy versus Austria for Italy to go through. I'd agree with that. I think Scotland could give Belgium a bit of trouble, but I think Belgium would go through. And then we have France v Denmark and England v Poland for a France-England quarter-final. Ouch. Ouch. That is not a nice time to meet them. But yeah, I would say if those were the games there, I'd agree with that. And then on the other side of the draw, we'd have Spain v Turkey, Croatia v Germany to set up a Spain-Germany quarterfinal. I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. And then we'd have Netherlands versus Portugal, which, as I said, it's an interesting part to meet Portugal, and he's actually got Portugal to go through, which I could really see at that point. And then Switzerland versus Russia for Switzerland to go through. I think Switzerland would beat Russia there. Yeah. And then if we carry on going down, we got France to win. So we then have that's going to be confusing. So he's got Portugal to beat Switzerland and Spain to beat Germany, France to beat England, and Italy to beat France to beat England, and Italy to beat Belgium. I didn't really think about that when I was setting this up. Right, and then a France-Spain final, which would be quite an interesting game with France to win it and Benzema to win the Golden Boot. Surely. So again, it's very interesting how the groups work out to how the knockout stages go. There are some sort of nasty games that get thrown up. But I think for his ones, for the round of 16, I think I would definitely agree. That game could be interesting. But yeah, then Belgium, Italy, France, England, Netherlands, Portugal, even Switzerland, Russia in a way, depending on how Russia are doing. Throws up some quite nasty games there. But yeah, cheers, Pointy. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hope you put your money on France because, we both got them. And we also have Rhiannon Marie. Rhiannon's new streamer. She just started. She was playing Little Big Planet, I think. So yeah, please do go check her out. Rhiannon_Marie92. The link will be posted below there. Yeah, go give her a follow. It's free. Go say hello. Make new friends. Now, I've been told that Rhiannon's not a massive football fan, so we will see what she's put. And there was no outside influence, or very little outside influence. So we got Italy, Wales, Turkey, Switzerland. Quite possible, Wales won their group in 2016, so that's not out of the realms of possibility. Again, Italy to win, I'd imagine so, and then these three, who knows? So Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Russia. So really, Russia really taking a step back after their home World Cup. Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, North. I can't do it. I cannot say North. I think it's because I'm trying to say Macedonia at the same time, so it's like North Macedonia. North Macedonia to finish bottom. Again, that's the general consensus, which, yeah, it could work. As I said, potentially Macedonia might get some points. Maybe not enough. I don't know. Group D, Croatia, England, Scotland, Czech Republic. So going the same way as Pointy there. Thinking that Croatia are going to do it. It's quite possible. Again, it's all about that first game again. Croatia do a number on England and Scotland do a number on Czech. That second game at home against Scotland, the old enemy, really does have some meaning to it. So that could be interesting. Spain, Sweden, Poland, Slovakia. So same way as I was thinking. Sweden to be slightly, and Denmark, yeah. We're on the same line, Rhiannon. I like it. And then finally, Germany, France, Portugal, Hungary. A lot for Germany here. Interesting. Third place qualifiers to be Poland, Portugal, Scotland, and Turkey. So we set up, not putting myself over the top of it. Belgium versus Poland for Belgium to go through. Italy versus Austria for Italy to go through. Can't argue that at all. Germany, Turkey, Germany to go through. England, Sweden, England to go through. Beat them in the quarterfinals at the World Cup 2018. 2-0, I think it was. And I'd imagine they'd do that again. Although that game would then be taking place in Copenhagen. Close enough to Sweden's home turf, so that can make things interesting. Spain, Scotland for Spain to go through. Croatia, France to go through. Netherlands, Portugal again, and another Portugal win. And Wales, Denmark to go through. I'd probably agree with that, actually. If it was Wales, Denmark, I think Denmark would go through. Portugal then beat Denmark. Spain to then beat France. France to drop out in the quarters. Interesting. Belgium to beat Italy. Germany to beat England. Belgium to beat... No, sorry. That's completely the wrong way. So Italy to beat Belgium and Germany to beat England. Setting up a Germany-Italy semi-final for Germany to beat Italy in the semis. Okay. And Spain to beat Portugal. They drew 0-0 on Sunday, I think it was. Again, that's the sort of game, maybe a 1-0, maybe extra time. And then Germany to triumph over Spain to win the whole thing. Joachim Low to bow out with a championship trophy. That'd be a nice way to go, wouldn't it? Cool. I like it. Thank you, Rhiannon. And yeah, as I said, brand new to streaming, so yeah, do go give some love, please, guys. And finally, we have Super Reedy. And I'm very lucky to have him on the line. So let's go see him. Oh, so we've got Stu on the line. He's here to talk to us. Hello. How are you?
Hello, Dave. I'm good, Dave. I'm good. I had a good day.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
Yourself?
I'm not too bad. Now, I said earlier, to ignore anything I say, because my betting and gambling is atrocious, so everything I said is wrong. Stu, on the other hand, gets stuff right, so listen to this guy, all right?
Occasionally.
All right, fair enough.
I have doubts now.
Listen to half of what he says and then ignore half. Yeah. That'll work. But yeah, so talk us through, man. So Group A, right. You've got Italy, Switzerland, Wales, Turkey.
Yeah, I think Italy's going to win a group easy. I think when you look at everyone in that group, Italy are out and out favourites.
I mean, the Italian team just looks so good, and then the rest of it is
terrible, really. Well, not terrible, but
realistically, everything being the same, Italy should just trounce that. It's like I said, and there's been some difference in the other predictions as well. That 2, 3, and 4 there is really just, I don't know.
I think
it just depends on who.
It's probably the hardest one to guess.
I'd say,
I would say Italy, Switzerland, purely because I think Italy will walk away with 3 points against Turkey and Wales.
Yeah,
and then Switzerland probably draw a win. Then Swiss are there because I think they'll do Turkey.
And then potentially Wales to do Turkey, or maybe draw a second game sort of thing.
Yeah, I can't see Turkey. Well, Turkey's only point's going to come against Wales, I believe.
Yeah.
I think Wales might be able to pick up a point against, maybe 3 against Turkey. But I think Wales will just do better on goal difference and stuff than Turkey.
Yeah, that's fair.
Italy, Switzerland are just a bit obvious, really.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
Basically. Group B, we got Belgium, Denmark, Russia, Finland.
Yeah, I think this is another one with the 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
In a way. Belgium once again should...
Yeah. But one thing I did notice is when I checked the average, before it was always Russia being second, and now everyone else seems to reckon Denmark as well.
I think, like, I just think Denmark improved overall. I just think Russia just like name a Russian player right now.
Just trying to. What's the striker's name? Dubravka. They just. I mean, they just haven't done anything since the World Cup, really.
No, and I just think Denmark will bench it. You think they got Kasper Schmeichel?
They're pretty solid all the way through.
Yeah, he is Denmark. Don't myself now. Is he Denmark?
Yeah.
I think like Kasper Schmeichel's like it's a solid keeper and he'll keep the game alive. Like Belgium are going to walk it. If they don't come away with 9 points, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, I just put Russia
potential chokes, but you know.
Yeah, but they should.
Realistically, again, same as Italy. Like they should just walk that quite happily.
Yeah, like and then Russia just once again, sort of like Wales, just do enough to beat Finland. Like Finland, they've got what's his name, Timo Pukki. He's got
Pukki up front, but other than that,
and he scored a couple of goals. I mean, I think they're number one. I only know this because he used to play for Reading. He plays in League One and he's their number one keeper. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's I don't think they have that quality.
Can't really see them doing much. This is a shame.
But anyway, yeah, like Pukki will be the man to carry them. That's it, really.
It just depends if he gets the service, because I think that was the problem with Norwich in the Premier League last season. Is the service wasn't there, whereas in the Championship it has been, and he's smashed it again. So
yeah, Finland can get in the box. He'll do bits, but
but
can't see it happen.
Nah. Group C, you got Netherlands, Austria, Ukraine, North Macedonia. Poor Macedonia.
We were talking about this at work the other day. This is the one that now I have doubts about.
Yeah.
Just the Dutch, like, come on, all right, they should smash it. But
I mean, again, looking at that group, same with Group A and Group B, the main team should smash that.
Yeah, it's just
Netherlands is definitely the weakest one, I'd say.
Yeah. Wait, Netherlands are the weakest?
Out of like Italy, Belgium, Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant in the group then.
Not quite out of the group, no.
Yeah. Out of Italy, but yeah, it's just it's going to be close. Even I know a lot of people wrote North Macedonia off, but if you actually look at their last,
they score a lot.
They score a lot, and they actually done all right. Ukraine haven't done. Yeah, Ukraine haven't done great, and Austria just sort of bang average. So I've purely put Austria second, just picking up points against Ukraine, North Macedonia, and it's just sort of copy and paste the groups. I just think Ukraine will get probably 3 points against North Macedonia. I think North Macedonia will do all right.
But maybe not win or get the points. No. They would just sort of get a goal and then lose 2-1 or something.
Yeah, I think they got a chance of scoring against the Netherlands. I think they'll score most of the games. I would say they would probably score in every game. They just won't
win.
Score enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just won't have quite enough. But yeah, they're
looking at it
interesting.
Anyway, most popular, everyone's got the same result down, but once we started looking into it, there's a bit of doubt for that second and third. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got Austria as I think I put them down for fourth because I don't know. I don't see much from them.
I think they'll have enough.
Should have enough.
I think Ukraine might have a bit of political issue.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Ukraine do.
Did you see about the kit?
Yeah.
They put the map on their kit, and now I think there's going to be,
I kind of hope they don't meet Russia. That could be so awkward. But yeah, so basically I think it's behind their badge, isn't it? Or is it the other side?
Yeah, it's literally on their front.
Yeah, they've sort of got stitching in the shape of Ukraine, but they've included the bit of Chechnya at the bottom, which is obviously a bit of a political hotbed between them and Russia. So yeah, they knew what they were doing with that.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Group D,
right, the big group,
the
big group,
the rubbish group.
Quite
a lot of, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Rhiannon and Pointy put England second.
Yeah.
They had Croatia, England, Scotland, Czech. I think they both did. So that was interesting.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the most popular prediction, and it's England, Croatia, Czech Republic, Scotland. See, England, I think Czech Republic will walk over. Yeah. Croatia, I think will get the revenge.
I think we should, especially as it's at Wembley. I think that helps.
Yeah. And then Scotland, I think will be a draw and a win. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, why have I put Scotland second?
I did the same. I think they're going to do all right.
Did you put Scotland second?
Yeah. My group's the same as yours.
Clark, I think what he'd done at Kilmarnock, he's taken into the Scottish team. And you look at their last two friendlies they played, they've won.
They've been all right.
And
I mean, they're missing
what, seven players they're missing? COVID?
At least, yeah. I mean, they haven't been playing their first team, and they beat Luxembourg. No. Okay, it's Luxembourg.
Yeah.
And they should really have beaten Netherlands, who had pretty much a first team. So.
I thought didn't they beat Netherlands?
No, it's 2-2. Depay scored a free kick at the end.
Yeah,
they should have, because I think they hit the post, or at least had another good couple of efforts. So. I think Scotland are going to do all right.
I think the big game the biggest game in that group is going to be Scotland-Croatia.
Yeah,
I think Scotland are going to do it.
But the good thing for Scotland is that's the last game.
Exactly.
So they could already be in with 3-4 points, maybe potentially 6 points. Yeah. They could do England. They could be fired up for that.
But
I
think this is the group where 1, 2, and 3 are going to qualify.
Yeah, I think
the third place will definitely come from Group D.
Yeah, I can't see Czechs really doing anything. I said it in my prediction earlier that now Czech are going to just walk it and win the group easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't see anything from them at all, really. No. I don't see much from Croatia, but I think they'd have enough to then beat Czech to take the 3 points, which should be enough for a third place qualifier.
I want to say Mandzukic is still playing for them, so he'll be there.
Obviously, Modric still is. Rakitic retired, didn't he?
Yes, I've got a feeling he stepped down.
I think he stepped down from international, so
he stepped down to
don't have him
prolong his playing career, didn't he?
But
sure.
I think definitely against the Czechs and potentially against Scotland, they could come up with a draw, maybe. But again, obviously Scotland's games against Croatia and Czech are also in Scotland, so that'd be helpful for them.
Big advantage. That's why I put England, Scotland top. Home advantage, massive.
Yeah.
And fans are back. It's going to be massive.
That's the one thing I mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure. I don't know if you know. Are away fans going to be in? Or is it just home fans?
See, the last thing I read about this is that UEFA were talking to the government about letting... I think they were on about talking about letting the same activity as home fans that away fans have.
Okay.
Ideally, if you're... I don't know, let's say you're Croatian, you should be over here by now, already.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
ideally, because there will be away fans
on the quarantine rules as well. Because no idea where Croatia and Czech are. But...
Yeah, but I think this was brought up that they're worried that because obviously it's around the UK, the match, etc.
Yeah.
Well, it's predominantly the final that there's going to be that initial home support. So
yeah.
I'm not sure. It'll probably come out in the next few days.
Hopefully it'll be announced, but I mean, especially if it's only home fans Italy are at home, England at home, Scotland have got 2 at home, Denmark are at home, Russia at home, Netherlands at home, Hungary at home, and Germany at home, potentially Spain, I think. If those teams have only home fans, that would be a big thing. If there's away fans as well, could make things a little bit more awkward, potentially.
100%. Yeah, I think England-Scotland game would be the best one for probably fans going.
It'd be an interesting game, that one. I'd be very interested in seeing that one.
I would advise anyone to watch that game. It's probably the best game in the groups. Well, actually, no, we're going to. at the end.
Well, I don't know. I'd still say that
probably atmosphere-wise,
the atmosphere, especially if there are some Scottish fans in, that'd be good. But both teams will be fired up for that one, especially depending on what happens in their opening games.
Definitely. That's gonna be a big pull either way.
So yeah, that'd be a good one. Group E is Spain, Poland, Sweden, Slovakia.
Yeah,
I think everyone's put Slovakia last. Poor guys.
Yeah, I don't know what the most popular one. Yeah, literally same.
I think it was the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Spain just once again they've got better. They've sort of dipped off.
Yeah, I don't think they're quite back at the old level, but they're definitely getting there.
They're improving.
The only thing is that obviously Busquets was positive today/yesterday at some point, and their first game is against Sweden, and assuming it's a 10-day quarantine period, he'll miss the Sweden game.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that could affect them.
It's I want to say it's Barca's. Picture him. Barcelona's old manager.
In charge of Spain?
In charge of Spain. So I think
Luis Enrique.
Yeah, I think it will be sort of that style of play, but I think I think the quality and experience will be there.
Really, and I think pretty certain they're all at home as well. So that will help.
And then Poland. Poland. It's Lewandowski's show.
Literally, he's just Robert Lewandowski. That's it.
I think he's had one of the best seasons of his life, and the guy's like 32, 33, which is sort of getting on for a footballer. So
it could be one of his last tournaments, really.
Yeah, I think he'll just powerhouse Poland second spot, and then Sweden, Slovakia. I think they'll just draw against one another, and they'll just sit 1 point each.
Okay.
Minus stupid goal difference.
Fair.
Because Sweden, I thought Sweden would do better, but obviously they lost Ibra, so
that's the big thing. I think if they had Ibra, that group's very interesting.
Yeah, if they had Ibra as well, it's a mentality. We've got one of the best strikers ever. Not ever. Top class strikers, and he brings that sort of swagger with him.
Yeah.
That you just see it on the field. He's always cheering them on. Now they've sort of lost him. I know he came out of retirement.
I'm just interested how much they're going to rely on Seb Larsson still.
I know, and he's been going for years. Seb Larsson.
Again, maybe same as sort of the Lewandowski. Maybe last hurrah. Maybe he'll pull the strings and get them through.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think for a few players, we'll see a few players.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a last hurrah for quite a number. Even the Belgian team, I mean, they're still classed as a golden generation, but a lot of them are starting to get to the upper reaches of it. So
28 now, yeah.
Obviously, you got the World Cup next winter. So probably still be around then, and that would probably be it for them. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll say Lewandowski squad. I don't know. I think he'll play till he's about 35.
Yeah.
Another World Cup and Euros and then.
Probably another Euros. All right. Group F. What a lovely group. Nothing going on there. It's easy.
It's a group.
Hungary are going to win. It's done. So you've gone for the same as me with France, Germany, Portugal, Hungary.
Yeah, because the most popular is obviously Portugal, Germany, switch. But this is the one we started having doubts about, wasn't it? This is the biggest one.
It's a difficult one. Obviously, it's the group of death.
Because ideally you just think France, Germany, Portugal easy.
Yeah.
But then we were saying, weren't we, if you're Hungary, right, you got nothing to lose.
You've literally got nothing to lose. You've got 2 games at home against the current European champions, the current world champions. Presumably you're going to have your fans there as well. I don't know what their restrictions are, but I assume so. And their first game's against Portugal, who are really slow starters. So I don't know if they're going to pull something out of the bag, even if it's just a draw. I just think something could happen there,
and you go to Hungary and don't get 3 points, you're going to miss out top 2, I think.
Yeah.
I've put France top because I just think they got the quality.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
You just look at the French team and it's just like, come on.
It's literally just all the way through. You're just like, yeah,
it's just class. They're just using class in every position. Like, you think Laporte had to change nationality because he couldn't break into the French team.
It was just not going to happen. So he was like, all right, fine, we'll go Spain.
Yeah, and then second and third was hard between Germany and Portugal.
It's difficult. I mean, that German team, I just don't know. Like bringing Muller back in, like quite.
Yeah, I think Muller's there for the experience, but I just think a lot of people probably will shoot me for this, but the back end of Chelsea's season, Werner, Kai Havertz to start to pick up, and I think they'll just do bits for Germany.
Yeah, and as you said, you got Muller for
Werner's got the
experience.
quality. Yeah, Muller's there for the experience, and you think Neuer's still world-class keeper.
Yeah.
They've still got world-class players.
Rudiger and stuff in the defence, like, you know.
Yeah, I just remember when Portugal won the Euros, it was the most boring final, I think. It was a goal in extra time, and it just came from... I'm sure it was just a shot that the keeper didn't see enough in time, so it just trickled.
Just went in and
right hand, bottom corner. I think it just trickled in.
Mm.
I don't think everyone will go. Yeah, they got Ronaldo. They've got Ronaldo, but I don't think
Ronaldo. Matinho, players like that. I don't know.
But you look at those players. Ronaldo hasn't had a good season in Serie A, but it's not been his best season. You look at Neves and all the other Portuguese players at Wolves; they haven't had a great season.
Yeah, no one's had a great season.
They're not going to have that spark, but I think because of how the other groups are, that they'll probably scrape through third and qualify.
They should beat Hungary, and therefore, it should be enough.
But that's the thing: if Hungary get a win or a draw against anyone,
it's the fact that it's the first game and it's in Hungary is just it makes me worry, you know.
I think if they get a point against someone, they could potentially get third, qualify. The other groups.
But all of Germany's games are at home as well, so that goes well for them.
Never.
All right, so anyone you want to mention out of the groups? Any players that you think wants to watch the Golden Boot winner?
Oh, we're going for this now, are we? We'll go for we might as well do it also in the groups.
While we look at them all.
Yeah, I think Golden Boot winner. I thought about this a lot at work today, as you know, because I'm a betting man, so there was bets being made.
Put the money down.
I think if anyone's going to go for top, as much as I wanted to put Mbappe down and Kane, I just looked at who's going to go further and probably pick up more goals in their groups, etc. So I went for Lukaku.
Yeah,
I think he's had the best season of his life at Inter. You just look at the players around him. De Bruyne is, supposedly going to be back in time. Tillmans, you've got Foden, Hazard. I wouldn't mention Eden Hazard.
Carrasco, there's so many players around him.
He's got the playmakers, and he's just deadly in front of goal.
And he's so physical in that box. As soon as he's got the ball, very, very Benteke style.
Bully, yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't say Benteke style. I'd say Lukaku style.
That's true. All right, Benteke copied Lukaku style. But they got that physical presence in the box as well as having the playmakers behind them.
He'll smash everyone. So probably I'm going to say my underdog of the tournament, probably a bit obvious from my conversation earlier, is Scotland. I think a lot of people wrote Scotland off, but I think in my prediction I've got going quite far, but I just think they're going to have, if they get a win early, they're just
especially that game against Czech Republic. If they can get a couple of goals,
they're going to have momentum going. They've already got it going now.
Yeah,
I think Clark's already got them right, lads. Everyone thinks we're not going to do it, but I think they've got a very good chance.
I think so. I'm just hoping that he plays Shea Adams because I reckon he'd have a decent tournament. I'd also be keeping an eye on Immobile at Italy.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
I reckon he might pop up with a few especially again in that group.
So you're underdog then, Italy?
Yeah, my main underdog is Benzema, France.
Oh, player-wise.
Now that he's been brought back in, he's got Mbappe, Griezmann around him, like in Kante, obviously behind, sort of breaking things up, keeping the ball moving. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Benzema for top scorer in that.
Yeah.
But as you said, with the group-wise, obviously Lukaku's more likely to get goals there, whereas France probably won't score tons in that group. So yeah, it's kind of keeping an eye on those groups where the goals are going to sort of come in more than generally the like knockout rounds. It's sort of 1-0s, 2-0s. Doesn't really go too far, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, flop wise, who's flopping? Who's not doing so well?
I think to be a flop, you've got to be a biggish team.
Yeah, you got. I'd say you got to look at sort of the big names going into it, and then be like, oh, they didn't do anything, you know.
I think after the conversation we just had, Portugal. I think
they're
still
pretty much.
Like, they'll still get out of the group, but I think they'll just. I think people expecting
it's going to be like the 1-0s, 2-1 sort of thing, like bundled home from a corner and things like that. Yeah, I agree.
They're not going to go out and smash anyone.
No, I can't see it. I also reckon Hazard. I don't even know if she's going to play, to be honest. You know, he had such a bad season. I could just see Martinez picking Tillemans or someone like that instead to...
Well, his brother's been picked over him recently.
Oh, really?
Hasn't it? Yeah.
So, yeah. If he plays... I mean, he might do blinder because, you know, he might feel like he's got something to prove. But
yeah,
I just feel that if there's a player sort of you go into it thinking, you know, one of the top players in the world, that actually he ain't going to do much. So you might want to put your bets on him to be top scorer now that I've said that.
Yeah, my flop is probably going to be Modric for Croatia.
Do you think, Do you think the legs have gone a bit now?
Yeah, I think he's going to get too frustrated trying to do everything in the middle. Madrid haven't had a good season. When you look at sometimes you watch him play, he's not really a happy player.
Yeah,
and I just think he's just not gonna be able to pull the string.
Yeah,
you know, able to really. So yeah, it'll be more flop.
Yeah, that's fair. And then obviously, he sort of got them going out fairly early, I think. I'm not sure you put them. Let's have a quick look who you put for third spot. So you said to go through Russia, Portugal, Wales, Croatia.
Yeah, this was really hard.
Yeah. So who you said is going out? Sweden and Ukraine. Yeah.
That's purely why. I think Wales will scrape through. Same with Russia. Croatia will only get through because I think they're going to beat Czech.
Should beat Czech.
And Portugal will get through because they'll beat Hungary. I just can't see...
At the moment, we're hoping that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's just like Czech. I can't see Czech getting any points. You know, when I was going about Group E, Sweden, Slovakia, I can't... They're only get a point against one another.
Just a point against one another.
Ukraine, North Macedonia, same.
Yeah.
Same. So I just think there's enough that Russia could beat Finland, Wales could beat Turkey, etc. Croatia to beat Czech,
Portugal to beat Hungary. Yeah. I think that's how I did it. I think I had North Macedonia going out with a draw against Austria and Ukraine, and I can't even remember which other one I had going out. But it was basically the same. It was like, it might have been Turkey or Wales for exactly the same reason. Like, you know, 1 point, maybe 2 draws, but a win obviously gives you 3, which is enough to then go through.
Yeah, easy. Right, I guess we get on to the round of 16.
So your round of 16 starts with Belgium versus Croatia. And you've picked Belgium to go through.
And any day of the week.
Fairly easy, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I think a lot of the round 16s, I think everyone's got probably...
It sort of comes up with a good team versus bad team, so to speak.
Yeah, just like we said before, Belgium's got the firepower.
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, Croatia just scraping through with a win, and then
yeah,
and then you've also got Italy, Austria for Italy to go through.
Same
reason.
Yeah,
just the same reason that.
Just like class, quality, and Italy have, been a good side.
Yeah, compared to Austria, who not Austria, bad team.
They're not bad, but
I just don't see them having anything this year.
Austria won't score. They'll play for penalties.
Yeah,
I think that's what a lot of teams would be. Like, say if it was Belgium and Croatia, they'll just play for. They
just try and hold out for as long as possible to try and get to the end and smash and grab sort of thing.
Yeah.
Again, France v Russia. France to go through. Same reason.
They'll smash. Yeah. Basically.
I don't even see that going to penalties. I literally see a 6-0 there.
Yeah.
I might be proved completely wrong, but I just if that game comes out, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, it's just the same as the first 3 groups. Like I said, the top teams are just too good not to go through.
There's a reason France are world champions, and up against Russia, Scotland, Poland. So again, you've got Scotland to go through.
Purely because I just think
at the moment they're looking the dark horses.
Confidence,
yeah. And again with Poland, sort of, there's not much there really,
I think if this game was actually gonna happen, my money would be on 2-1 Scotland.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Potentially even 3-1, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just think Scotland are very all-round good, whereas Poland don't seem to have that much,
Yeah. Going forward, they're good. But...
Yeah, but other than that, it's like, Spain, Wales. Spain to beat Wales.
Yeah, like I said, Wales are only there because they're better than any other teams.
Just scraping through there, and then obviously Spain should have enough there.
They're not going to have the glory that they did before.
So it was semi-finals, wasn't it, in 2016 they made?
Yeah. It was literally the biggest one-off.
Yeah, it's just one of those where fair play, but maybe not.
Now what? Bale's... I don't know. I don't think Bale can even be asked to play football anymore.
No, he's definitely looking better since he went to Spurs.
Oh yeah, he's better there since Madrid.
But I don't know how much the Giggsy thing is going to mess with them as well. Losing your manager is not helpful. Page seems to be getting some results out of them, but I don't know. Wales are an odd team. Like, you look at their players and you think, that's good. But then it's not. I think I've worked out that their 3 keepers have played like 2 games this season.
Yeah, they're very
collectively.
I think they've always had keeper issues. I can't think of an amazing Welsh keeper. Well, the probably only decent keeper they've ever had was that Wayne Hennessy.
Yeah,
because he played in goal for them, didn't he, for the Euros?
Yeah,
I want to say.
But I think this season he played like 1 goal, one game as a backup to. I can't even think what team he's at now. Might still be at Palace, but.
I don't think. I
can't remember. But I think going forward they look all right. Daniel James and whatnot, but I don't know. I think if they came up against Spain, they'd have some problems.
Oh yeah, like Spain.
Realistically, should.
Yeah.
England, Germany. England progressing.
England, yeah.
Being at home is going to be nice.
It's hard not to be biased in a way.
Yeah, I had the same thing. Like, I said, like there is probably some bias there, but it's also looking at the teams. Like, the Germany team isn't fantastic. England will be at home if that pulls off.
Yeah, and normally, touch wood. Over the last few years, we've got better at beating Germany.
Yeah.
Compared to what it used to be in the 80s and 90s. Well, I wasn't really around then, but we're a lot better at beating Germany.
And we've won a penalty shootout, recently.
Yeah,
so
we've won.
That helps.
I just think, like you said, England will just have more class, but it won't be an easy game.
It won't be an easy, it's not going to be a 5-1 like back in.
It won't be penalties.
It'll be
a 1-0 1-0,
2-1, maybe an extra time. Yeah. Netherlands, Portugal. Yeah. Netherlands, Portugal for Portugal to go through. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though I said Portugal going to flop, I think they're gonna flop on expectation. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, again, as I said earlier in the vid, they're slow starters, so this is the kind of time they're going to be waking up.
Yeah.
And Netherlands.
I've actually just realised how far I've put Portugal.
A little bit. they're going to flop, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Netherlands aren't quite the polished deal yet, and obviously they haven't got Van Dijk, which is a big loss at the back.
Plus, I think that don't they play Depay as their striker?
Yeah, and I don't think they have any other strikers.
He's a striker. No. The Dutch are just filled with wingers.
They got pace and stuff and class, but I'd be interested to see them by next winter for the World Cup. I'd like to see their team then.
Yeah, when everyone's fit.
But yeah, I think this is just a little bit too same as Spain really. It's just a little bit too early. But yeah, Netherlands and Spain for the World Cup could be interesting.
Depending if the Netherlands can get a proper number 9.
Yeah, really. If they can sort out a striking option and keep everyone fit. Because Van Dijk being at the back, that is nice. He's going to be a big loss. It's just the fact that their group's kind of easy.
Right. I'm thinking I'll probably change my flop team to Netherlands rather than Portugal.
Yeah.
I take that back. Don't worry about Portugal.
As soon as they come up against someone difficult, they're done.
Yeah. I just realised how far I put Portugal, and I just thought, actually, Netherlands, when we get a lot of pressure on them, they'll flop. Yeah, don't worry about everything else I said about Portugal.
Yeah, forget about Portugal. They're fine.
Yeah, forget about Portugal. They're all right. They got Ronaldo.
They got Fernandes. They're good.
Yeah. No, probably the hardest game I had to pick.
So you ended up with Switzerland, Denmark.
Yes.
Switzerland, Denmark.
So I had Denmark going through second in the group, didn't I?
Yeah, and then Switzerland second. Yeah, both second. I have a chart here. Let me work this out.
Denmark in Group B and Switzerland second A.
I can't find this. Second Group A, second Group B. So that game's going to be in Amsterdam. Okay.
Ooh.
So that game is in the Netherlands.
Saturday 5 o'clock kickoff. I went Denmark. But this
is that one of those games that's a bit who knows?
It'll be a penalty.
A penalty shootout with Switzerland, who have never won a penalty shootout. That could make more sense then. I could see that working. I mean, I've sort of put Denmark down as a team that could potentially upset things.
Obviously, hold Switzerland off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideally, out of those two groups, this is the spot you want. I can't remember what groups it was now. So A and B? A and B, yeah.
A and B, yeah. So this is second out of A and B.
I think if you come second in any of those, you've got a pretty good chance of getting the quarters.
It's quite nice that. And to be honest, I'd say you've probably potentially got a chance of a semi. Obviously, looking at your one, it would be Netherlands or Portugal, which, you know, then, as we said about Netherlands, looks like there could be flops, could be a bit dodgy. Portugal, a very dodgy team. You know,
but like you said, they've got a history of starting slow and picking up.
By this point, they should be starting to gel and defence be all right. And so then you've got Portugal to then beat
Definitely
Denmark.
Not flop. Yeah.
They're going to be mid-ground.
Portugal.
So Portugal to do Denmark, which is fair enough.
I think Denmark would get there, and I think they would be happy to take that. Really.
Yeah, quarters. You know, fair play.
Yeah.
As I said, they're my dark horses ish for the tournament, and I think I've got them going out in the quarters as well. But
I think it's to a certain point where you're like, right, this is where teams get knocked out.
Yeah.
You see.
Because I think, in fact, the way mine works... No, I must have Netherlands, Portugal. I'd have to go back and look at mine now. I wonder if I must have put Netherlands to beat Portugal.
Did you?
Interesting. Yeah, Portugal on flop. I'm going back on it.
Alright, see, we switch our flops around.
It's interesting, that, yeah. But now we've spoken about it, I kind of agree with your one more. Because, mine must be the same as that. Is it?
Yeah, I think you would have done Portugal.
Yeah. Because I definitely had those 2 second. Portugal. Yeah. Okay, so I've put Netherlands to do Portugal. Yeah, go back on that. Forget my predictions already.
Scrap it.
Yeah. And then England to beat Spain.
Yeah, like you're just saying, Spain are a good side, but I just
think it's just too early. Again, like the Netherlands, it's just too early for them.
I don't seem biased, but England, I think, especially under Southgate, even though it'll be boring, we'll just play that gritty 1-0 grind out football.
Yeah. The only interesting thing with this game is it'll be in Rome. Which could do Spain a little bit of a favour, obviously with the climate.
Yeah.
But I agree, like, without trying to be biased too much.
I want to say...
just see England doing that, as you said, like the 1-0, the 2-1, just grinding.
I've got a feeling that England normally do well in Italy as well. But even,
potentially.
Size. I think even Premiership size, we do well in Italy. I'll probably jinx that now.
Yeah, that's it. That's game over. Yeah. So that's it, right? Spain are going to beat England. That's done.
Yeah. When it gets to Italy, just bet on Spain.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think it's just the quality.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. France to do Scotland. I mean,
yeah,
kind of a given, really. Yeah, I mean, it would be lovely to see Scotland go through to.
I think it would still be a tough game for France, but at the start, but they'll break them down eventually.
Yeah, sort of like beginning the second half, maybe grab a goal and then have Scotland rocked a little bit. Scotland have to try more to get a goal and then get caught by Mbappe.
The Mbappe pace.
It's one thing I read earlier about Mbappe is France don't do great against lesser teams because they all sit back, so he can't do anything. Yeah. Whereas bigger teams obviously go for goal, they attack, so he can then use his pace to counter and get in behind.
I did watch the French goals from qualifying, and their goals are split pretty equally. I think Giroud walked away the highest with 6.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think Griezmann assisted 6, and then Mbappe and Griezmann both picked up 3.
Okay.
And like the odd goal from field, but when you look at most of their goals, Mbappe's is on the break.
Yeah.
Griezmann's were tap-ins in the box. Same
Pez goals, gotta love it.
Most of his was like,
little headers, 6 yard out. So
I think that'd be quite interesting, actually. Yeah, if they did play a side that sat back.
So I think they'd struggle. I mean, even potentially that Russia game. If that happened in the round of 16, but Russia could just sit back for penalties or whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's what Giroud and Benzema are there for.
Yeah, I mean, you could always change it and just take Mbappe off. It's like, look, we're not getting in behind anyone. Take him off. Yeah. Just pump balls into the box instead.
Giroud up top. Yeah.
But then, Scotland, especially if France scored, obviously they'd have to start going for it, and that's when you can get Griezmann and Mbappe running in behind, Kante just playing it through the middle, finding little gaps, because Benzema's more of a runner than Giroud as well, so he'll quite happily get on the end of those sort of longer balls, through balls, and
definitely.
I think then Scotland would find themselves in a lot of trouble.
Definitely.
And then Belgium-Italy, with Belgium beating Italy.
Yeah, as much as I think Italy are going to do well, I think Belgium is going to have that.
Just got that golden. You got De Bruyne and Lukaku.
Yeah.
Carrasco, all the same names we keep mentioning, but
Tielemans is going to be one of their star players, and if De Bruyne is fit enough, they will shine through. But see, this is even though De Bruyne is out, it's like, oh well, we've got all this talent.
It's kind of.
I think it sort of helps them that they don't have to sit there and go, oh god, who do we pick?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is De Bruyne is one of the best players in the world right now, and you can lose him and not worry greatly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then so the semi-final will be Belgium-France, and you got France to beat Belgium.
Yeah, just once again with that French side, it's just
which they did at the World Cup.
Yeah,
in the semi-final.
The whole quality they have, I think.
It's just that French team. Like I was saying earlier, it's like
Belgium...
I can't look past them. I literally just can't look past that team.
I think everyone must have them down as favourites because they're just unreal. If anyone knocks them out, they'll be the biggest upset.
Big time, especially before like semis, maybe.
Yeah,
like Belgium or Italy could.
Even if you get to the semis, if you knock France out, you've got the momentum.
You've done
France
out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, especially, if France, if they don't get out of the group, then wow.
Yeah.
If they lose sort of round of 16, even the quarters, you'd be like, that's an absolute fail for France.
Oh yeah.
Semis, obviously, ideally, they're obviously going to be going for it to become world and Euro champs. But yeah, I think looking at the way our predictions have gone, I think I've got Italy to do Belgium in the quarters. And then France to do Italy. But yeah, Belgium or Italy, I would say, are probably two of the teams that could do France. But I don't know. I just can't see much past that France team. I literally can't.
Come across it, let out the big boys. No,
it's literally it's just like it's just France.
No, yeah, it's just no matter what you think. I was just sat there for ages, just going France go through here.
I just literally can't see anything. And the other side, you've got England, Portugal, with Portugal to finally flop out now. That's it. Yeah. Absolute flops, semi-finals. Awful.
This is going to be the biggest revenge since 2004 quarter-final where we got cheated out because of that ref. I just think we'll smash Portugal. I think that's...
All opinions are just used, by the way. Nothing for Dave MRRP. Completely out of this.
I just think that Portugal gets to that point and they'll be out of steam.
Yeah, and it's at Wembley. Potentially with more fans.
I don't know how big their squad depth is, like class-wise. I think they're pretty starting 11 and that's it.
Yeah, really. Pretty much.
I just think England, if we get to that point, I think, and like you said at Wembley, there'll be thousands of people, even outside the stadium, just roaring.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, especially if all the restrictions are lifted by them, which...
Yeah.
When's the semi-final? 6th of July? 6th, 7th of July?
7th Wednesday.
Is it 7th for our one, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is at Wembley, yeah.
And yeah, with potentially more fans in, as you said, if there's no restrictions, then yeah, there'll be thousands of people there. Yeah, I'd agree. Like, again, there is some bias there. There's going to be some bias.
Oh
there,
yeah,
but
there's always going to be bias. You could probably ask a Scottish person, and they might have themselves get to the semi.
Yeah, which they could do.
Yeah, could do.
But yeah, I just think I like England's depth. I like the fact that you got Jude Bellingham. I like the fact you got Sancho, Sterling, Kane. There's now 3 right backs for some reason.
Yeah.
But even if you play the back 3, you've got Kyle Walker to sit back on the right, and then you've got Reece James to bomb it. You've got Kieran Trippier who can come on, bomb it, defend, and take set pieces.
I think. Yeah, because of the way how Southgate sets England up, there's the depth there.
Yeah.
But that's purely going off the way he sets up. But we'll get on to that after the prediction.
So then the final is France-England at Wembley, Saturday afternoon or Sunday?
Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday night. Why is it at 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sunday 8 o'clock. I think
Sunday
it's so
night.
Global audience.
Day before we all go back to work. That'd be fun.
I won't be going to work.
Petition for a bank holiday.
I'm booking Monday off. We get that far.
You're gonna have to. But yeah, and then France, England to finally the bias to run out, and for France to beat them.
Yeah, I think
10-0. Absolutely trounce them.
Whoa, 10-0. No, it'll be like 2-0, 2-1.
Yeah, France. Yeah, I'd say.
Southgate will go then go, right, boys, got the defense, and then Mbappe will just run past like.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Very similar to the Scotland chat we had. You know.
Yeah.
England just get that stretch a bit too far, and Mbappe to pop him behind, nip it across, and Benzema there.
Or we'll do that stupid thing where we score like early, like what we did against Croatia, and just decide to sit. And hold.
Just sit back, and you're just like, let France just flood you. That's a good idea.
But yeah, France to win it. I think.
I agree. Again,
it's the bookies' favourite, but
I can't look past it. You know.
Yeah, when you just look at their side, it's like how their manager selects their team. He must have nightmares.
Yeah, he just fair play to him. I wouldn't want his job.
No.
But
well, yeah, that's
so that's it. So France to win it. Fair play. You put your money on already?
Right. I've put my money on Lukaku to be top scorer, but I might wait to the groups before I pick my winner. Well, there's no point picking France at the moment.
No, not really.
If they dip a bit, the odds might get better. But I think
if they draw or lose their first game, then put the money on.
Yeah, I think they're 5-1 at the moment. England and someone else at 6-1.
Belgium.
Yeah, Belgium. Right, I'm going to ask you some questions about England team now, Dave.
Oh no!
We've done
it's quiz time.
Yeah, it is a quiz. How the roles have reversed.
Yeah. Well, it's not Sunday, so I can't do my quiz.
No, yeah, just a few questions. I'm sure people can answer in the comments. Right, England team, biggest England flop player-wise.
Flop. Biggest English flop. I say Rashford.
Any reason why?
I like him. He's a good player. I don't know how he fits in this team.
He's
sort of pushed out onto the right or the left, whichever way. And he's not a winger.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if you saw the news, but he's actually playing with an injury. He's supposed to have an operation after the Euros are done.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I think is a big.
So that could hamper him, especially with pace and whatnot. So, yeah, I could see him being a flop. I mean, maybe saying flop's a bit harsh.
Yeah, but underperforming. I'll say it that way.
Yeah,
the biggest
sort of
underperformer.
Like a player who's done pretty well domestically and in European competition. Very much the same as Hazard. Obviously, Hazard had a bad season, but to go into a big tournament like this and then not really do much. Which is usually Sterling's job. But
yeah, mine would be Tyrone Mings. You probably know how much I bang on about him at work.
Yeah.
If anyone can tell me how Tyrone Mings got in this England squad and is going to stay in this England squad, please just.
I was reading earlier. It's literally because he's left-footed.
The man is awful. The man is awful. I'm glad. I know Trent went out injured and we called up Ben White. I was actually happy. Tyrone Mings is awful for England. Awful. I think he's purely there because Maguire's not there, but I think White's done enough to push him out. But I think Mings.
I can't see him not playing Mings, to be honest.
But if he does, he'll underperform.
So you think like if there's mistakes for goals, it's going to be through that?
Oh, it's going to be Mings, 100%.
Like it was last night, almost.
The two friendlies, he's like violently attacked people.
Yeah, right. Like,
and I'm just do that. You can't do that. Like, if there was VAR, the man would have been like pulled. Oh, I don't know what the rules are, but he didn't get pulled. But he would have in the Euro game.
In the Euros, that he'd be gone. Like,
so yeah, if Tyrone Mings starts, I will be crying.
Fair. I think you might have to get the tissues ready then.
Yeah, right. Who do you think is going to be the best underdog player for England. So like someone who
an English player,
there might, who might be, sort of goodish, but is going to shine for the England squad.
If he gets a chance to play, I'd say Bellingham. It's a slightly cop-out answer because obviously he's like making his debut / doesn't tend to play much. But he's class. Like I saw him play for Birmingham last season before, wherever we are with seasons now. And he was 16, I think, and we beat them in a cup game, but he looked class. And
call this gone again, Dave?
Yeah,
I'm
here. Hang on. Yeah, that's alright. I can get Vi to. That's right. I can get Vi to cut this bit out. But yeah, I just think that he played well as a 16-year-old, and he's just got better since then, and he's had a great season.
17.
Is it working?
He's 17. He's 17. That's what I was saying.
No, back when I saw him play though.
Oh, I see. When you're back at. I thought you meant now. I was like,
no. Yeah, so when I saw him playing, he was 16.
Yeah.
So I just think that it is a bit of a cop-out answer because obviously he technically hasn't played, so he's definitely going to be an underdog. For less of a cop-out answer, I'd say Sancho. I think Sancho's really going to grow, especially if they can play together, as they do for Dortmund.
See, I know what you're saying about Bellingham, but I don't think he will be a cop-out. He's played for Dortmund at like the top elite. He's played in like Europe. He's played in a lot more competitions.
I'm interested to see who Southgate's going to pick, because Hendo's a shoo-in as long as he's fit, which obviously he played a bit last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to play, and he'll probably be captain, I'd imagine.
He's a risky move though to play.
Well, no, probably Kane actually.
If it was me, it would be Bellingham playing alongside
Phillips.
Rice.
I always forget about Rice.
See, I would have liked. Actually, no, I'll say that. That's a different question. I was nearly spoiled another question there.
There's another question.
That was close.
I imagine he'll probably play Hendo and Rice in defensive midfield, and then bring Bellingham on.
It depends what formation he plays.
I don't know.
The man changes formation. He either plays 4 at the back with a 2-3-1, which everyone plays, or he plays the 3-2 sort of wing backs.
Yeah, sort of like a 5-2-1 kind of.
And then like Kane up top with 2 wingers.
2 wingers / sort of midfield.
5-2-3 basically.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's a very.
Jude Bellingham's definitely one to watch for England.
But yeah, I think out of everyone that, especially, I mean, that's the thing. Saying it's a cop-out answer, we don't know what he's like really. Apart from, as I said, I saw him play for Birmingham, and he looked class.
Yeah,
and
I watched a lot of German football.
He's done very well for Dortmund.
He's class. He's
I hope he gets the chance. I hope he gets the time.
Yeah, what he's done at Dortmund should bring him in. Like,
realistically,
German football, as you probably know from our accumulated, and that's why I just think Southgate's got to, sort of step away and go, right, who do I need to pick on form? That's what he needs to do.
It's like, look, I can't be loyal. I can't pick the same players. Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing, isn't it? Every England manager, it's always the same players. I'm picking this person, this person, this person, this person. It's just like, he hasn't scored for 20 years. Like, give it up. Like, Hendo hasn't scored a goal for England, and he had a penalty last night that was saved. Like, come on. Put Bellingham in, let him score.
This will move into my next question quite nicely. Then there's one more after that. Who do you think should have got picked for England but didn't? Like, they didn't make the cut.
Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
Easy.
Stop having the same answer. We have to pick a different answer.
Just absolutely easy is Ward-Prowse. Like, I don't know how he hasn't gone.
See, actually, I'll change mine. I was
into the shortened squad, I should say, because he was picked for the extended squad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean the squad going to Euros.
Yeah, I mean just for his set pieces.
Like,
how can you not pick it?
We lost Trent, and now
to drop back to to drop back to an earlier question, Grealish. He's looked class this season. And in both friendlies, he's just worked it.
Performed. And he's the most foul player, so he'll get us free kicks.
So he'll pick up the free kicks. Unfortunately, we don't have James Ward-Prowse to score them. But yeah, that's one of the big ones to watch, I'd say, is Grealish. But again, it depends on his formation, because if he's not playing an attack at mid, then there's no spot for Grealish. So, I don't know. It's all on you, Southgate. Sort it out.
Where does it keep?
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
Where does it keep being you? Alright, now we're back. What? I don't know why it keeps doing this.
I don't know.
If it's me, you, what?
I don't know what it is. It's like even the video sort of keeps getting a bit jittery. But...
Alright. The player that I would pick to go away from James Ward-Prowse would be Jesse Lingard. I think he got unlucky.
I forgot about Jesse. How can you not take Jesse? On his form since he moved to West Ham.
Exactly, and this is what we're on about, form. His form has been banging for West Ham.
If he was still at United and he hadn't done much for the rest of this season, like he wouldn't have done because he wasn't performing, everyone would have been like, yeah, of course he's not going. But since his move to West Ham, he has been insane.
And he's got this, it's sort of like his same love with the FA Cup. I always get this weird vibe that he always does so well with England, like he does with Man U in the FA Cup.
In the Cups, yeah. It's just sort of domestic league. Yeah.
And I just think formal. But then I guess you got Mount, Grealish. It was very tough, but I still.
But again, the problem is obviously Lingard can play more on the wing, which Southgate seems to like, rather than Grealish and Mount, who are more, your central attacking.
He could play Lingard, and like Rashford's not a winger, let's be honest.
Exactly, and if he's injured as well, you could be like, look, mate, we'll keep you on the bench, and you can come on. If Kane's not scoring or whatever, you can come on and go up front. But yeah, so I'd say I'd agree with that. Ward-Prowse, just because he's performed super well in a pretty mediocre team. And Lingard, because since his move, he's been phenomenal. So yeah.
Right, I've got my last question.
Last question. I feel like I'm in the spotlight. I don't like it.
I know. I sat in the chair sweating. Who is going to be the best England player of the squad? Like, who's just going to take all the headlines, do amazing? Everyone will be getting tattoos of them on their face or whatever. Who do you think it's going to be?
If he plays in a system, Grealish.
Grealish.
I can see it. I mean, Kane, if he scores, if he gets the golden boot and whatever, obviously happy days because you need the goals. But Grealish just controls everything. Again, he's in a fairly mediocre domestic team, and he shines. And as you said, he gets fouled a lot, so he can easily pick up the free kicks and the penalties.
Yeah.
And I just think that he's just very composed on the ball. He can really control it. I'd prefer it if we had someone like Kante for our defensive mid, who can really break things up and control it. But if Bellingham, Rice, Rice isn't too bad.
Trust me, Rice could do that. Yeah. Rice don't get the praise that
if they're sort of marshalling at the back, if Maguire's back playing well, if Mings actually plays a blinder and doesn't flop like you reckon he will. And we don't have to worry so much out the back, and then you can just let Grealish go, pop them through balls to Kane to just tap in, or spread it wide for Rashford, who's a complete winger, or Sancho. I reckon Grealish
will be a star man.
Really be a star man. I mean, he's already picking up the headlines from the 2 friendlies, which is a great prep for the Euros.
For me, it's got to be the man Kane.
I just think he's just going to be banging him in again.
He's just going to well, he's our main man. Like, no offense to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but Harry Kane.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll go with that.
Just because he gets us the goals, and it's the winning goals. And,
yeah. Like, and I've also been impressed with him this season with his assisting. You know.
Yeah.
He's definitely taken that part of his game.
Plus, I think, in a way, if he's wanting out of Tottenham, this is the time and place to show that you're good enough.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you know, you've really got to put yourself on the shopping in the shopping window.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
This is, well, both, really.
It's a bit of a shame because obviously Calvert-Lewin sort of dropped off a little bit as the season progressed.
Yeah, he had a cracking start, but I still think, even did Watkins get called for it? Yeah, he did. No, he's on reserve.
No, he got cut off, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Calvert-Lewis is. It just shows that Southgate's probably going to play a very similar style the whole way through because he's only got two types of.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Calvert-Lewis is literally plays the same style, big, tall player who just wins balls in the end.
He's just in the middle, like exactly.
Finished in the box.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Buzzing.
Cool. Thanks very much for joining, mate. Thanks for going through that.
Thank you. Thank you for having
put me in the chair.
Yeah,
unexpectedly.
Follows their prediction.
But yeah, basically just ignore everything we've said. Just ignore it and put your own bets on.
Punt. Yeah, punt $2,000 on France to win.
Yeah. Feel free to put your predictions and guesses in the comments below. Top scorers and that. Give me some tips. Give me the winning bets. And
best England players.
Best England players. Flops.
Just answer all the questions we've asked, really. Would be interesting to see everyone's points of views of flops and
see what people think.
But
yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. No worries. Thanks for joining, mate. Thanks for watching.
That's all right.
And I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys.